Welcome to the Holistic Kids Show. My name is Zane.
My name's Abdullah.
And my name is Imad.
We're the Holistic Kids here to educate us kids from the inside out. Have you ever felt tired? Your hair starts to fall. You start to gain weight. You feel anxious. Even if you are dealing with just one of these symptoms, it is important for your doctor to check your thyroid.
Have what's that?
I have heard of my bones, brain, skin, intestines, kidneys, and but where is the thyroid? Isn't even an organ?
That's a very good question. I'm glad that you guys are asking that. So, yes, thyroid is an endocrine gland. It's a teeny tiny butterfly shaped gland which is present right in your neck area. Now, it is very teeny tiny, but it's very powerful. Without the thyroid gland, we all cannot live. So, thyroid gland makes this wonderful hormone, which is called the thyroid hormone. And thyroid hormone is very essential for each and every person to live a happy life. As I mentioned, without the thyroid hormone, we all will not be living because it's one of those essential things which is needed by each and every organ and cell of your body.
Today we have the perfect guest with us today to help us understand what the thyroid is, like he just did right now, and what happens when it starts to not work the way it should. Dr. Anshul Gupta is a best-selling author, speaker, researcher, and the world expert in Hashimoto's disease. He educates people worldwide on reversing Hashimoto's. He is a board-certified family medicine physician with advanced certification in functional medicine, integrative medicine, and he has worked at the prestigious Cleveland Clinic Department of Functional Medicine alongside Dr. Mark Hyman. He is now on a mission to help 1 million people and more reverse their health conditions. To achieve their mission, he has written a best selling book called Reversing Hashimoto's and recently has hosted a Reversing Hashimoto's Summit. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. You guys are amazing. I love your show. I think you are doing such a great work to help a lot of kids and even adults to understand their health and how to get it better. So I'm really glad you guys are doing it.
It's our pleasure.
It's our pleasure.
It's our pleasure.
So you went from being a regular conventional doctor to a thyroid specialist. We would love to hear your story.
Absolutely. So, actually, my story starts after I completed my residency in family medicine and I was working in a very busy private clinic, taking care of patients day in and day out. But just few years into my practice, I started having a lot of symptoms. I was feeling tired, I was gaining weight, I was having a lot of stomach problems. I was having some brain fog like symptoms where I was not able to pay attention to things. Being a doctor myself, I thought I could fix it. So I started taking some medicines to fix my stomach, but that was not working. I added more medications, but again, that was not working for me. So that's where I decided, well, I need to see these specialist friends of mine. Maybe they are smarter enough to treat me. They did a lot of testing on me, like some testing to go down your throat, to look in your stomach, which is called endoscopy, to see what's going on. A lot of blood tests, but they could not find anything. They added more medications, but my health was not getting better. I continued to gain more weight. I was really tired that I had to take a nap during the day just to kind of complete my work. So that's where I started looking into functional medicine. I found the root cause of my problem and I was able to reverse it by following certain diet plans and taking certain supplements. Now, when I was working at the Cleveland Clinic, what I saw was that I was seeing a lot of patients who had very similar symptoms as mine, and they all had thyroid issues. They had weight problems, they were all tired, they were not able to function, and they were all following their doctor's advice of taking the medicine and doing a lot of testing. But still, they were not feeling good. So that's where I decided I need to help these people because I was able to resonate. I could resonate and see my story in them. So I started researching thyroid disorders and made a protocol to see if I can help them out. The protocol worked really well. A lot of these patients started getting better, their symptoms were going away. And that's where, I started writing this protocol and I published this book to help thyroid patients to feel better.
That is amazing.
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 And just
So,
like you, a lot of specialists, they went through a certain disease and then at the end, they became an expert in that disease and they were able to cure themselves.
so you
That is
talked
correct.
about the thyroid. What happens if the thyroid stops working the way it should?
Hmm?
That is correct. So let's go back to the thyroid and understand what it does, right? So, as I explained, the thyroid is a very teeny tiny gland located in your neck. It is part of a system in your body which is called endocrine system. Now, endocrine system, is very important because it secretes different kind of hormones, which are basically chemicals which goes into your body and have different kinds of function. The thyroid gland produces this thyroid hormone, which is needed by each and every organ of your body, starting from your brain. So when, as a kid, when you are in your mommy's womb and you're growing, the thyroid hormone is responsible for the development of the brain. Without thyroid hormone, the brain will not develop. So as an adult, if the thyroid hormone is not enough in your body, then you start having problem not able to pay attention or you start forgetting things. So that's the first thing. Thyroid hormone important for brain functioning. So if you don't have it, then your brain doesn't work. Then thyroid hormone is very important for energy because thyroid hormone helps your cell to produce energy. So a lot of people feel tired or fatigued if they do not have enough of the thyroid hormone. The third thing thyroid hormone also does is that it improves your mood. So a lot of people will feel irritable, they will feel that their mood is not doing good, and that again can be because the thyroid hormone is not enough in their body. Thyroid hormone is also important for functioning of your stomach and all of your gut, especially your digestion. So a lot of people will have issues with constipation, or they have a lot of bloating in their stomach, and that is all because their thyroid hormone is not enough. The other important function of thyroid hormone is to keep your hair in good shape and your nails in good shape for skin health. So when the thyroid hormone is not enough, people start losing their hair and their nails starts becoming thinner and thinner. And the last issue that a lot of people with thyroid hormone will see is that they have trouble with having babies. So, thyroid hormone is important for keeping the reproductive organs in good shape. That means, like when females are trying to get pregnant or having babies, thyroid hormone is needed. So, if it is not present or the thyroid hormone is in less quantity, then it again doesn't let females to have babies. So these are all the things which the thyroid hormone is needed for, and if it is not present in good quantities, and that's where people start having trouble.
Wow, I never knew the thyroid hormone was so important. I mean, without it, we would probably not be alive. Right? You need the thyroid hormone to basically improve your brain health, improve your skin health. It's very important.
Yeah, we wouldn't be alive because like our mothers birthed us, and it wouldn't allow our mothers to, uh, you know.
So then it's
Dr. Gupta, you specialize in Hashimoto's. What is that? And what does it have to do with the thyroid?
Yes, a very good question. So, as I explained to you, thyroid is a gland. Now, thyroid can have several different kind of diseases, right? And one of the disease of thyroid gland is called Hashimoto's. Now, Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease of your thyroid gland. Now, what does that mean? What it means is that your body actually starts producing certain kind of antibodies that starts attacking your thyroid gland. And when it starts attacking your thyroid gland, the thyroid gland is not able to function. It is not able to make enough of the thyroid hormone. and that leads to all the different kinds of symptoms, which is like constipation, which weight gain issues or fatigue, or brain fog. All of those symptoms happen in Hashimoto's. So that's the way Hashimoto's is linked to thyroid gland, is that it causes the destruction of the thyroid gland. So it is not able to produce enough thyroid hormone in the body, and which leads to all of these different kind of symptoms.
What are no?
What are the most common symptoms you will see with Hashimoto's?
Very good question. So, as I explained to you, Hashimoto's disease, the ultimate thing which happens with Hashimoto's disease is destruction of the thyroid gland. So, most of the symptoms that we see of Hashimoto's is because of low levels of thyroid hormone. One of the most common symptom that people go through is that they start gaining a lot of weight and they are not able to lose that weight. So that's the most common symptom that almost each and every patient with Hashimoto's disease go through. The second most common symptom that people with Hashimoto's will complain of is that they are tired all the time. Doesn't matter what they do, doesn't matter how much sleep they get, they just feel tired, they feel fatigued all the time. The third most common symptom is that their mood fluctuates. Sometimes people will feel anxious, sometimes they will feel low mood, or they will feel like they don't want to do anything. They have low motivation. So those mood changes will happen a lot of times. And the other symptom which happens is, like as I explained to you, gut related problems, where people will go through constipation. They will not have, or they will have difficult bowel movements, and then plus they will also have a lot of bloating in their stomach. In young people, we see a lot of people will have concentration problems, like what we call as ADHD, that they're not able to pay attention in their class, or not able to follow instructions. That is again a sign that their thyroid or Hashimoto's is ongoing with them. And then the hair loss or hair thinning is another very common symptom that we see with Hashimoto's. So these are the bunch of symptoms that we see with Hashimoto's, which are most commonly present.
Yeah, there are so many symptoms, and a lot of them can really affect your mood, how you are throughout the day. They can really affect your life. So, what tests can kids ask their doctor to see if their symptoms are due to thyroid? Because if you're sleepy, that doesn't mean that you have like Hashimoto's, right?
That is
um,
true.
so you want to get lab tests to see if those symptoms are because of the thyroid.
Yes, so there are easy lab test, blood test, which can be done, which can tell you whether you do have Hashimoto's or a thyroid problem. So the most common test that can be done is called a TSH, which is the thyroid stimulating hormone. So that's a very simple blood test. All the labs will do it, and all the physicians are aware of it. So you can get that basic test to check whether you have a thyroid hormone deficiency or not. Now, sometimes TSH is not enough, okay? And to check for Hashimoto's, you also have to check the antibodies which are destroying your thyroid gland. So that's what the kids should also ask their doctors about, checking for the antibodies also, so that they can know that whether they have Hashimoto's or not. Again, a simple blood test with the same blood sample that they are checking other things for you, they can also check these antibody levels. Now, most of the regular doctors will not check antibodies. So you will have to specially ask your doctor to check for Hashimoto's through these antibodies.
So now we know what Hashimoto's is. How can you get rid of Hashimoto's? Is it like you healed from Hashimoto's? How did you do that with the food lifestyle? Right? What kind of foods are the best for fixing your thyroid glands? How can people like recover from this?
Very good question. So, as I mentioned, Hashimoto's is an autoimmune condition. So, if you go to a regular doctor, most of the time they will say there is no cure for it, or the only treatment available is to give you a medicine to help your body with more thyroid hormone. But in functional medicine or integrative medicine, we know that there can be certain things that you can do from lifestyle perspective, which can help you actually reduce these antibodies in your body, and that also can help to safeguard your thyroid gland. So one of those important things is diet. So there are certain foods in the diet that we need to stay away from, and then there are certain foods we need to eat on the regular basis that supports the thyroid gland. So let's first talk about the food which actually should people be staying away from, especially if they have Hashimoto's. So certain foods like gluten, like dairy, processed food, fast food, and sugary foods. Those are all the foods which are bad for Hashimoto's or thyroid gland and people should stay away from. Then there are foods that everybody who have Hashimoto's disease should eat, and those are a lot of vegetables. The more colorful vegetables that you eat actually helps support by thyroid gland, because each and every vegetable, different colors they have different phytonutrients, and these phytonutrients support your thyroid gland to function better. They also help to reduce the antibody levels so that your thyroid gland functions better. The second category of food which is very important for thyroid gland is what we call as good amount of protein. Good quality protein, which can be some chicken, some fish, some turkey, or if you're a vegetarian, then you can eat some lentils, or you can have some nuts and seeds. Those are all good sources of protein. And then you also need to have good amount of fats, good fats, not bad fats. Good fats will again be avocados, will be your olive oil, or it can be your nuts and seeds like almonds, like walnuts. So those are all good things, especially good food, that each and every person with Hashimoto's should be using it, and that definitely helps support the thyroid gland. Along with this, people should also be focusing on reducing stress. Now, stress is a killer of thyroid gland, because stress basically increases inflammation in your body, and stress again leads to the destruction of the thyroid gland and flares up Hashimoto's. So very important that each and every person should be meditating, or should be taking deep breaths, or doing some yoga, or doing some kind of relaxing exercises. These are very important things that people should be doing with Hashimoto's, and that again will help them to reduce antibodies and again help their thyroid gland. So these are simple things that can be done, from the lifestyle perspective, that will help Hashimoto's disease.
Yeah, remember, if we're trying to heal from Hashimoto's, eating rainbow foods are one of the best ways to go, as because an apple might have different health benefits than a banana, and pomegranates have different benefits than an orange. So eating all of the rainbow foods is very beneficial to get all the nutrients you need, as well as having different kinds of protein like fish and nuts, as these will provide certain fats and certain health benefits to help you overcome the Hashimoto's, as well as getting rid of stress, which is very important on very important to decrease your Hashimoto's. Um, so that will be very important if you want to get rid of that. So thank you so much. That is so amazing for all of the amazing tips. So what about environmental toxins like mercury, and other stuff like that? Does that affect your thyroid?
It does. Actually, the new research suggests that one of the major reasons of increase in the number of thyroid patients is that our environment has a lot of toxin these days. So the toxins starts from what we call as heavy metals. That's where the lead and the mercury happens to play a role. And then there are a lot of different chemicals each and every day. Our industries are producing newer and newer synthetic chemicals. And all of those chemicals actually do destroy our thyroid gland. And the other important toxins are like what we call as mold toxins. Mold toxins can be found, if they are damp buildings or water damaged buildings, then the mold toxin could be present. But the heavy metals like lead and mercury, what they do is that they have special attraction towards the thyroid gland. So even small amount of lead and mercury, if you get exposed to it, it directly goes into your body and gets deposited in the thyroid gland. And over the course of several weeks to several years, this mercury keep on getting deposited. And once it reaches this critical level, then it leads to a triggering of Hashimoto's disease, and that again starts destroying a thyroid gland. So definitely toxins are a very, very major reason. 70 to 80% of the clients that I work with, have a high amount of toxins in their body, especially these heavy metals, and that was the root cause of their Hashimoto's.
That is amazing because
Amazing.
Amazing.
not a lot of people know
Amazing.
about mold, mercury, lead. Um,
Amazing.
and this can no one really knows that this can affect your health detrimentally and really affect how well you are doing and affect your lifestyle.
So, what can we do to lower to lower toxins?
Very good question. So, to lower the toxins, first of all, we need to work on actually lowering the exposure to these toxins. So, let's try to understand where we might be getting exposed to these toxins. So mercury is present, like when you are a kid, you eat a lot of candies, you can get, these bad teeth and you get that root canal done and you get teeth fillings done. So, in the previous past, these fillings would have a lot of mercury fillings in them. And those mercury fillings over the course of years will start breaking down and will release the mercury in your system. So that is very important that when you're going to a dentist, that ask them not to fill your teeth with mercury fillings, but fill them with the other fillings which don't have mercury. The second source of mercury can be a fish which is contaminated with mercury, because a lot of fish which we get from certain areas can have high amount of mercury in them. So it is very important to eat organic fish, or like fish which is wild caught, so that we don't have those mercury in them. Then water can also be an important source of toxins. So it is very important to get a good water filtration system, so that filter out all the toxins from it. So whenever you're consuming water, toxins will not be there. An important source of lead toxins is actually sometimes old buildings. The old buildings, we used to use lead paints or lead pipes. So sometimes that are still present in some of the older buildings. So it is very important that if we do have old buildings, we remove all those lead paints or lead pipes away from it, so that we don't get exposed to it. Similar to other environmental toxins, try to eat organic food as much as possible, so that again there is less amount of pesticides which are going in our body. We use a lot of chemicals around us, for cleaning our houses, or like cleaning other things in the house or yards or even in the gardens. So again, using less amount of chemicals, which are synthetic, will again help lessen the exposure for these toxins to us. So those are the main things. Reducing the exposure to toxins will be the most helpful thing.
That is amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. What is one thing kids can do to keep their thyroid happy?
Happy.
Happy.
Good. Yes. To keep the thyroid happy, the kids can do is that they can eat really good. Eat a rainbow diet, as we were talking about, and stay away from the junk food, as we discussed about. So, junk food, processed food, stay away from candies, and then eat your veggies. As your grandma always tells you, eat your veggies. So, that's one thing that each and every kid should be doing, eating a lot of vegetables in their diet. That is definitely going to keep their thyroid very, very happy. So, if they can do that, Follow this diet, and then eat good healthy vegetables. Their thyroid will be very, very happy.
So, where can people learn more about you and your work? So, if they want to get rid of and heal their Hashimoto's, they can go to your site, go to your website, or go to your Facebook and figure out how to basically get rid of that disease.
That is correct. So there are a lot of places people can find me. I have a website where I run a blog where I share a lot of scientific information behind thyroid and Hashimoto's. My website is anshulguptamd.com, which is spelled as ANSHULGUPTAMD.com. I do have a YouTube channel also with the same name, Anshul Gupta MD, where I again share a lot of videos about thyroid and Hashimoto's so they can know more about it. My book, which is the Reversing Hashimoto's, has again my three-step process, which I explain to people that they can use again to improve their thyroid health as well as they can reverse it. That shares a specific diet that they can follow, what kind of supplements that they can take. All of those things are present over there, so they can easily heal their thyroid. People can also work with me virtually through my practice. Again, all that information is shared on my website.
So please make sure please everyone follow Dr. Gupta on social media. Thank you again for joining us today. You were so powerful. Now we all know how to take care of our thyroid. And
Thyroid.
just to
Thyroid.
make it clear, the thyroid's in our neck, right?
That is correct. Yes, thyroid is right in the neck over here, very teeny tiny gland. And as I said, it's a butterfly shaped gland. So that's the best way to remember it.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Remember, the thyroid looks like a butterfly. So now to recap Dr. Gupta's key points. The thyroid is so important because it has a lot of different biological processes in the body. It is important to keep our thyroid healthy, and when your thyroid doesn't work well, it can lead to lots of symptoms. To keep your thyroid healthy, it is important to focus on diet. Stay away from gluten, dairy, processed foods, and then focus on foods like lots of veggies. And the more color you eat, the more it supports the thyroid gland. Each color has different phytonutrients, so make sure you are eating enough good quality protein and good amount of healthy fats like avocados, nuts, seeds, and walnuts.
Uh, that money.
Also,
Yes.
also focus on lowering stress. Stress kills the thyroid and flares the autoimmunity. We love meditation and breathing techniques. Lower toxin in the environment. There are lots of different chemicals that industries are producing every day. Mold can also affect your body and can be found in water, damaged buildings. Work on lowering the exposure your toxins. First, find out where the toxins can be. So, like mercury can be found in fish. So, it's important to eat wild caught fish. And make sure you're getting a good water filtration system to lower the lead toxin load. Also, eat organic as much as possible to lower the amount of pesticides and chemicals you're getting.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Zansari.
I'm Dula.
And I'm Imad.
Follow my family and I on social media, Holistic Community, and look out for my mom's book, The Holistic RX, Your Guide to Healing Chronic Inflammation and Disease, and the amazing children's book we wrote together called Adam's Healing Adventures, Power of Rainbow Foods, so check it out on Amazon. Yay! We have a special gift for everyone listening. Because we're almost at our 2-year mark, we want to give you all our special dessert cookbook. We know most kids love sweets, so we put our favorite recipes just for you. Check it out in the description of this podcast, wherever it is. Kids need to learn from other kids. Please download our podcast on iTunes and leave a review so other kids and families can benefit. We need to work together to create a healthier future for all of us and the planet. Join us next week for another episode of the Holistic Kid Show, where kids are empowering kids.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, everyone.
everyone.
Bye.